Hello, Blood Bowl Grud here. Now I'm only introducing the Tier 3 podcast because they've promised me a big bag of money and the chance to touch Bob Bifford without him noticing. Ooh.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're all doing well. I hope Father Christmas has been, filled your stockings with miniatures so you've got something to do through the year. But before I forget, with me this week is the man, the myth, the gravy stain, the regular host. It's Beard. Beard, how are you doing, my son?
I'm not doing too bad. How are you doing, Jay?
Oh, I'm doing alright, but doing alright. I needed a bit of a break over Christmas because I would say I had a really bad end to my year of Blood Bowl where I got so tilted that, I'll be honest with you, I nearly walked away from the hobby. I nearly put everything up on eBay. I just got so fucking tilted, and it was mostly because of dice. It just fucked me off, but more on that later. So it's a new year, new episode, and hopefully this is coming out in January, my son. So first off, let's give a shout out to our affiliate, which is Firestorm Games, one of the biggest venues for war games and miniatures in the UK, especially in South Wales, where they have all your paints, models, dice and miniature needs, because they do figures for Dragon Ball, they also do figures for One Piece, and they also got your board game fix. And if you follow the link in our description of the podcast, you get a link straight to the site, and we get a kickback when you use it. So please help the podcast, because the more you help, the more we can put back in, which means hopefully competitions, hopefully we can do other things as well. So I'm going to just leave that there. Beard, I got one thing to tell you, my son. Do you know we have got 2 extra channels now?
Wait, what?
We got 2 extra channels. We have started putting our episodes up on YouTube. We also started putting our episodes on Rumble. And because of this, I think what I'm going to start doing is, when I can get my webcam to work, hopefully round about next week, which will probably be the 15th odd after Welsh Championship, we're going to start doing Wednesday painting, Wednesday whips. So we are going to be, well, I'm shit at painting, but I'd like to have someone to talk to. So if people can subscribe to the YouTube channel or to our Rumble, we're going to try and get an hour or so where we sit down, talk shit. It doesn't have to be about Blood Bowl. We could be about any other miniatures company or any miniatures rumours while we're painting and, you know, slaying the grey as it is. So
hang on. I want to hear this right. You're whipping it out Wednesdays, yeah?
Whipping it out Wednesdays, yes. Our work in progress. Yes. I don't do that for free. You know that. Especially after what happened in fucking Lancaster with you be a fucking pervert. Anyway, so...
Oh, somebody's got to be.
Yep, and for a change it was you. So, before we carry on, we've been away since October. We have had an event that we went to. You've been to 2. We could talk about it now. You've had Tash Bash up in Lancaster, and you went to Chainsaw, which was in Merthyr, South Wales. I accompanied you to Tash Bash as well.
Yep.
And I didn't go to Chainsaw, so...
You didn't accompany me, you were my chauffeur.
I was your caterer.
I mean, that's more accurate, but, you know.
I was your grandma, I was. Are you alright, son? Have you got enough layers on? You alright? Right, but anyway, so... Tash Bash was in Lancaster, where we had a very nice short drive up, and we met a couple of the boys as well, didn't we? Because we saw Glow, Thor, we even saw...
We saw Chris.
Dave the Inhaler. Chris.
We saw Seducer of Trolls. Stunted brain Mike.
The sexiest man ever, seducer of trolls. He's a man that you'd love seeing at like 6:30 in the morning.
What I will say is, thanks to Lancaster, at this year's Thrud, there is going to be an international exchanging of the sheep between Jay and Seducer of Trolls. It's going to be like one of those like peace deals where they sign a bit of paper and hand a sheep over each.
Yep, he may touch Welsh sheep anus this year once we get that signed. So, and I might wear a man's skirt from Scotland. Who knows? This year is full of surprises. Anyway, so we went up to Lancaster. That was like a 4.5 hour drive, which, if anybody's listening from like America or Canada, that's nothing for them, but that's a long drive for us considering we're just a much smaller country. So, 2-day event, 6 games. How did you get off in Lancaster, my boy?
Well, apart from not being able to finish my games due to my health, I had a good old giggle all weekend. I forgot my tea in his Wood Elves. I took Ogres. I lost 2-1. I was quite happy with managing to get a score against Wood Elves. It's probably the most fun game I've had playing against Elves because we did nothing but giggle all game. I then played Hodge my Bob with his Skaven, and I think he borrowed your dice for that game. I think we shared dice because I think from turn 1 just everything went wrong for the lad, and I did genuinely feel bad for him. I then played our mate Addison and his Dark Elves, and again we had to keep an eye on the clock because we were having such a good laugh, and I lost 2-1 against Dark Elves. And then I played Taxi Cab and his Nobility, and I lost that 2-0. And then I played Shunt and his Orcs, and it was 1-0, but it wasn't really a close game, to be fair. It was just, can he pick up the ball and can I put stuff in the way? So I only managed the 5 games rather than the full 6, as my health was not very good at all when we wanted to get back. But I scored 4 and conceded 7, which, you know, for my first run out with Ogres on the tabletop, I was quite happy with that. I enjoyed Ogres. Definitely take them again. That was the finishing of the Savannah team. Still got a couple of models to paint for them at some point, but I enjoyed that tournament. I enjoyed it. Was a good rule set, and you know, it was a shame we didn't go out for food with everyone, but we were there. And I will say this: it was Mike's stag do. We were all playing board games.
I was brilliant, but because he introduced me to a fair number of new board games that I'm not going to say that I've picked up myself, but I have. And we had a brilliant game of, well, basically it was Chinese Whispers, where you had to draw what you thought the other person had seen. So you can imagine Glow was getting quite fed up of everything was a fetish or somebody was wanking to something because he was trying to read what I was drawing. So that was a really fun evening. I'll be honest, that was a good day 1 for you because I was sat with you the whole time because, you know, I won't travel too far from, you know, close by because I knew you were unwell, and with your fibro and everything we try and, you know, make sure that you were sorted, especially in the middle of a game. But what was it, your Nobility game? From what I could see,
2-0 to him, yeah.
You and that other guy was like having a fucking major laugh because what was the score at the end? 2-0 to him. Yeah, but the casualties were fucking amazing because he was like not a lot of players left by the look of it.
I think more of his team ended up. I think we had to extend the casualty box into the KO box and then eventually onto the subs bench because there were so many removed. And it wasn't just me doing it. He'd do a GFI or a rush and it'd go wrong, or he'd dodge out and it'd go wrong. But it just at one point it was just.
Oh, of course.
I looked at what he had left and I was thinking, oh, I don't think you can play a full turn, you know. But I still lost 2-0 and I had a good giggle doing it, and so did he. You know what I mean? So if you both have a good laugh while it's all going on, you know, that's the main thing.
Well, he said to me that if the ball was any closer to the scrum, he wouldn't have been happy with that game because he was just lucky that because because you knew you couldn't catch him, were just tackling his players, trying to get like the most casualties, and he was just like, fuck, I just don't know what to do. He said he never seen so many players taken off in one game again with him. Like, so, you know, I think you opened his eyes a bit there. So how many touchdowns did you have?
I managed 4, all of which were on day 1.
Nice. Do you know how much I managed?
3?
3. 1. 1 touchdown the whole tournament.
Yeah, it's good for you at the minute.
Right. Okay. I think, what was it? We saw the Welsh table of how badly we've been doing, and I think I've lost probably more games than I've won and drawn combined. So, my tournament was, I took Norse, and I took fucking cursed dice by the look of it, because people were saying to me about, oh, you didn't do too bad, the positions were there, it was just the dice were failing you. Dice couldn't fail me if they were never on my side. Let's be honest. So, let's have a look at it now. Game 1, I played Chaos Renegades. That's where I won 1-0. That was my only touchdown of the whole tournament. And it was close. I think it was a lot of dice went against him towards the last quarter of the second half. So it kept me, you know, able to like hold him up in the middle of the table, so it was harder for him to try and get down the board. But it paid off in the end. It was in my favour. Second game was against Skaven, and I lost 2-0, so I couldn't catch the fuckers. And if I did catch them, they were either standing up, dropping back down and bouncing back up, or I was knocking myself out. That's how good that game was going. So, third game was against Corn, and I will say I felt sorry for this guy, Chorfling, because supposedly I was playing him in the first game, as well as the guy who was playing Chaos Renegades against. So, you know, I supposedly had 2 games on the go, and, you know, I couldn't do it, because I think that's what held us up for like half an hour, wasn't it, at the beginning. So I finally managed to play him, you know, third game rather than first, and he's got an amazing looking Corn team, which were basically made out of the Corn Underworld's warband and some AOS models with the printed parts. They looked fucking phenomenal. Very chunky models, and he looked the part. And other than going 1-0 up, he smashed me where I couldn't even try and gang up on him. I had a couple of lucky breaks, but nothing that amounted to much, I will say. And then second day, I played Lizardmen first off, and that was a 2-0, because I would say I had a bit of a flare-up of my temper, and I was all out of sorts, because that game ended turn 3, which shocked the guy who was playing, and it kind of shocked you as well, because I shook his hand, said well done, conceded my game, walked out and had a cup of tea. I was tilted, because I would be honest with you, I think I rolled, what was it? I must have rolled, how many pairs of dice? I would say tops 6 pairs of dice, all skulls, and that's including the rerolls. By turn 3, he had taken off half of my team, the other half was face down in the ground. And I think my thoughts on the matter were not very great. I think the fact that I've had a year of the dice turning on me, and especially in day 2 games where I can't seem to get more than just like double skulls all day, kind of tilted me a bit. Even talking to you and talking to my opponent and having a break just didn't help me at all. And I will say I do apologise to Waldorf on that one. He was an absolute gent of a player, but I just couldn't get my head in the game. I had fucking... I was tilted at this point, and it would have been unfair for me to sit there and be an absolute whingy bitch the whole time, because he fucking outplayed me. And I felt bad. I did apologise to him afterwards, and I said, like, you know, look, sorry, my head went and everything, but he had done such a good job and the dice were in his favour that there was no coming back. It was just whoever got up around was going to be knocked down and possibly taken off. And, you know, I wasn't going to go 16 rounds of just removing my players. So, unfortunately, I had to call it. That was the quickest game I've ever had, though. I think after that then, I played Doc, who is a listener of the podcast, and who gave me the amazing skill ring holder as well, that I've got proudly on my desk. So thank you, Doc. That was absolutely amazing, and I didn't spend the whole drive home while Beard was ill, rubbing his face that I had a present and he didn't. Honest. But another great play. Black Oaks, it was amazing to see him played well. I will say he played him really well, and he kind of stuffed me 1-0. So it wasn't the highest scoring, but he put them all in really good positions, and he took out enough players where I was unable to mount any type of offensive against him. So I can say that was my first outing with Nose, and it's going to be a while since I take him to a tournament, because they were jack shit, especially when it comes to my dice. And that's me being honest. Beard, you've gone very quiet, but have you got anything to say about that?
I think you're playing up how well your tournament went, to be honest. I think you've been more than fair on yourself, because it was shit, to be honest. If I'd have had your dice, I think I'd have probably walked out by the end of game 2, I think. It just didn't look fun. You tried to maintain having a laugh with people, but when your dice just constantly say, you can't do that. No, what do you think you're doing? You want to play games? No. Go sit back down.
No. It got to a point, though, with one of the guys I played gave me his dice, and he said, well, try them. And I rolled exactly the same. And it's not like, and it wasn't like, oh, try rolling out your hand. No, still skulls. We use a cup, skulls. Have someone else roll, skulls. I've had such bad luck this year, where it's not been great. I don't want to completely write it off, but I would say I've had probably, including Tash Bash, 18 games. 5 wins out of 7 tournaments this year?
6 tournaments.
Well, 6 tournaments. So, 6 tournaments, and 3 of them, I would believe, is 2 days. So, 5 wins, 12 losses, and 1 draw. So, my batting average hasn't been great this year, and I think by the Lizard Man game, I was fucking very much aware of the fact that this year hasn't been fucking great for me. I could probably say my best result was probably Cardiff Cup at the beginning of the year, but yeah, that was another tournament where I went up early and then fucking plummeted towards the end of the day. So I don't know, but I was left very sour after that. The Lizardman team, it was very good because it was Lizardman with Boa Constrictor.
Yep.
And he fucking, well, he spanked me. In 3 turns, he spanked me enough that I was actually debating whether to shake his hand right off the rest of the tournament and go into Lancaster for the day.
Oof.
You know, he was right. This isn't going in my favour. This is just another day of utter shit. Rather than eating shit here, why don't I just go into town and see what it's like? But, I'm kind of glad I stuck with it because I was able to meet a few listeners. I managed to meet a few new faces, and it was good to socialise with people because we don't tend to go up the country that often, so it was good to do that. But I don't know. I felt bad after that Lizard Man game, and that was mostly because I think I put a sour taste in my opponent's mouth on that one. So I did apologise profusely on that one. I did feel bad, but I think I was very much aware of how shit the year had been, like I've already said, and it just got to me. And I hate to say it, when we started this podcast, I didn't want to be that way about it. So it took me, what was it? Like, what was the date on Tash Bash? That was the middle of November. I think it was a week before Christmas before I started thinking, no, I'll stick with Blood Bowl because of all the friends and the community and everyone that, we get to meet when we go out to these tournaments, because that was the most important thing to me. And I kind of, well, I don't know, my head got turned the wrong way, I think. But no.
What were your record for the year again? 5
wins, 1 draw, and 12 losses.
Okay, how about 5, 9, and 19?
You got a better draw average than I have, so you probably, I would say I would rather. Well, to be honest, but I would have rather that, because I've lost 50% of my games for the whole year. So you probably got a better batting average than I have, if you broke it down that way into percentage. But like I said, I got tilted on that one, and it left a bad taste in my mouth for the whole year. To be honest, the year before wasn't that great either for us, was it?
It wasn't.
First tournament of the year, Midwinter Madness. We remember how bad that went, don't we?
We do.
Especially when you had Elf Union. Well, I say you. I had Elf Union, and I failed 8 2+ dodges, one after another. So, yeah, it's probably at that point when you can't even roll a 2+ that I should have realised it wasn't going to be great. But we stuck through it. Sadly, it was a bit of a bust, and like I said, I've come to the realisation if I'm going to have bad dice, I may as well collect some wooden spoons along the way, innit? So I ain't gonna let it bother me.
Exactly.
Well, from now, hopefully. We got the Welsh Championship coming around the corner, and
we do.
I've got Corn to take to that, because, if I'm feeling low about my decision making and the way my dice are going, why not take a team full of friends in? So, yeah, do you want to talk about your Chainsaw Massacre results? Go on then.
Well, you mean about how badly it went? So, Chainsaw Massacre is our local Christmas tournament up in Merthyr, hosted by Voice of Jericho. And I've met him again, a tournament opposite him. I took Ogres, again, mainly because Tash Bash was only the week before and I didn't have time to get another team painted in a week. I am not other certain members of the Blood Bowl community that can do that. So I took my Ogres again. I play Rubik, who I've not played before, Luke. And I've played against Rubik online before in the Firestorm online leagues. And we had an absolute laugh. His Black Hawks beat me 2-0. Next game then I played Matt, Voice of Jericho, our club commissioner, with his Halflings. I lost 2-1.
Spanked him, as he would say.
Yep. And then...
Aye, but it wasn't just Halflings, though, was it? It was Halflings and... Was it Morg?
Halflings and Friends, I think it was Morg. My last game was Ian, Flap Onion, from our local club as well. So I went to an event at our local club and played 2 people from our local club. And me and Ian we spent the entire game just having a good laugh. I lost 2-0, it wasn't for lack of trying,
In fairness though, but the way you turned around and said, oh, well, we went to our local tournament and we played people from our local tournament, it's better than going halfway across the country and then playing people that you drove up with, isn't it? So...
Well, we've done that before.
Yes, we have.
Voice Jericho's roster was Zug, Deeproot, accompanied by Flames, and I lost 2-1. Which I can live with that against Zug and Deeproot. But yeah, I played Ian and we had a good laugh. Our mate Bim made I would say handcrafted, but it was more chainsaw crafted wooden spoon that was attached to what you more or less describe as half a tree. And there were it was rough around the edges, but most of us had an eye on the wooden spoon more than the top prize.
Nice.
I was one touchdown away from being last. So, almost a wooden spoon warrior. But no, I enjoyed it. As a one-day event, it's a good one. It's a little pub by us, which, you get cosy with everyone and cosy with the locals in the last game as the pub opens. But it wasn't a bad event.
Yeah, the only pub I've ever seen that had energy drinks on tap. I still don't know how that works.
Yeah, I've never seen anywhere else that has energy drinks on tap.
No, I tried some and I was shaking. I was shaking for bloody hours afterwards, so I don't know what it was. It was amazing, however, whatever it was, but yeah. I unfortunately missed that. Work commitments, and I don't think I was in the best frame of mind for that either, so I'm probably not the best advocate for it, but guys, don't make the same mistake as I do and somehow get tilted by these results. Just take them one day at a time. That's one thing I've got to learn to do myself, and not to think about, shit, this is happening to me yet again. And yeah, it's always the dice's fucking fault. I think I've got like hundreds of bloody skulls on my dice. So yeah, I go, hopefully this year now I'm gonna get back to how it was when we started, but I want the fun to come back. I want to be on the bottom of the tables having a laugh the whole time. It doesn't matter if I've got bloody 11 men on the table or 1 man.
You need to do what I did and take goblins and earn yourself a nickname like the Smiling Bearded Dream Killer.
Child Smasher.
Exactly.
No, but the problem is, but you've seen how bad it can get. That even if I had a shits and giggles game, we played one, didn't we, local, and it was like, oh, come on, we'll have a laugh. And the game ended, I think, after the first half because my dice just imploded on themselves, and I was just like, well, what the fuck do I do? Even you looked at the table and went, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
See how it goes, and move on a bit. So what we're going to do now then, guys, we're going to go into a break, and we're going to talk about the new stars in the almanac. So, as you can imagine, we're going to be talking about the fun ones today, which is mostly going to be greenskins and how they fact over our boy Ripper. So, I'll see you after the break.
Hello my friends, and my name is Dan Kirby. I have a very easy to follow and very chilled out painting channel on YouTube, where I paint miniatures of all different shapes and sizes. I paint miniatures from all different types of board games, and by using simple tips, tricks and techniques, it couldn't be easier to follow along. If you enjoy a relaxed painting atmosphere, then please check it out.
Right then guys, we're back from our break, and we're going to talk new star players. As you were aware, the new almanac dropped just before Christmas, and it's given us a plethora of new star players. You can tell it's early in the evening, but I can say plethora. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk 2 or 3 this week, and we're going to give our opinions, whether they're valid or not. That's for you to listen and decide yourselves, but we've got a lot to say.
I will start with Scrapper because I like the look of Scrapper and I'll probably be using him quite a bit. So we've got Scrapper. So he's movement 7, strength 2, edge 3, passing 5, armor value 8. He's got dirty player +1, dodge, loner 4+, pogo, right stuff, sprint, stunty and sure feet. He can play for anybody with Badlands Brawl or Underworld Challenge. And his special rule is yoink. So once a game, when he attempts to interfere with a pass, he may roll a d6, and on a 2+, he doesn't even need to interfere with it, he automatically makes the interception and takes the ball. Now, I know that in itself can be quite situational because he's got to be in the line of a pass. For me, 2+ to not even have to roll another dice, so you're talking, 86%? I'll just not roll another dice again.
Don't tell me the odds, but because, 2+ never work in my favour.
Well, I'd buy it for $1, let's put it that way. I'd buy into that for having to mitigate things. Yes, you have to put him in the right place, but I still think he's worth it for that.
I think he's amazing, and he's at that price of 130,000 as well. So, he's really well budgeted as well. Like you said, movement 7, so he's going to be phenomenal on the bigger teams, like Orcs and Black Orcs, especially Black Orcs, because they're a bit slower.
Yep.
Your Orcs generally can move mid-ish, but I think he will probably shine more with Ogres.
Yep.
Because they are big, slow, and find it very hard to pick up the ball. So he's going to be phenomenal for them. You don't want him passing. You want him to pick up the ball and leg it and jump over people. So I predict Ogres are going to be rising up the ranks this year now that we've got Scrapper again.
Absolutely. I think he'll fit right in with an Ogres team.
Like, I'd like to try him with my Black Orcs, because I think he's got a very good range for that. And like we said, he's got right stuff, and he's stunty, so even when he gets the ball, if you're in a pinch, you can still launch him up the pitch as well. There is useful stuff you could do with him.
There's one change I would make to him, if I'm honest. As good as his special rule is, when you play a standard Goblins team, if you have a Pogo, they tend to be the guy that you send to go pick the ball up. So I would have possibly changed Yoink to once a game show hands, maybe, just as a tweak. And I don't think it would have been too much.
I don't know, see, I think the whole point in a Pogo is that they're interfering, especially with Pogo as well as a rule. That interferes with your cages, that interferes with, your big scrums. So, Yoink, I'm thankful that it's once per game, because I would be fucking annoyed if somebody pulled that out like once a half on me, where you think you're opening up a bit of advantage, and they go, no, I got the ball. But that's what you want him to do. And like with Goblins, who, they can take him, but I can see him being a bigger powerhouse in the other teams. The possibilities are endless with Scrapper, and I do like him. And he's got a very nice model, I will say. He's probably one of the nicest models that I've seen come from GW.
Oh, his model's brilliant.
Like, I'm gonna say now, I know it's nothing to do with this segment, but have you seen that Bryce Campbell?
Oh, Bryce the Slice.
Oh, it's fucking hideous. I'm sorry. Somebody has designed half a model and then decided, I can't be arsed, and then I'll just make it everything else flames. It is fucking hideous.
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer would have been a skeletized style Helmut Wolf sort of thing going on, but you have the chainsaw with ethereal flames coming off the chainsaw. You don't need the flames on Bryce himself.
I've seen a lot of third parties do a hell of a lot better.
Yes.
Obvious ones, Willy, Grebo, they've all done versions and they've been amazing. It really isn't hard to do. And I think GW just went, I can't put a ball in his hand, so I don't give a shit. Because some of the nicest models, they're always carrying a fucking ball.
Yeah.
With this one, they've gone, he's not carrying a ball. And I think he's got both feet down as well. So that's another rarity for fucking GW as well.
It is.
So, I just don't like the fucking model. It's awful.
I think we need to move on to, funnily enough, another chainsaw model before we save your big rant for the last guy we're going to talk about. What do you reckon?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I will agree with you. It is time to talk to a proper chainsaw artist.
It is.
That would be our boy Nobler. He is a good bloody model as well, because have you seen the Pogo and Nobler together?
I have.
Sexy greenskins they are. Nobler, everybody's favourite snotling. He's mean, green, got a half-inch wiener, and he makes up for it with a massive fucking chainsaw. It's brilliant. Enough of bigging him up, let's talk about him. So he's movement 6, strength 2, agility 3+, no passing skills, and he's got 8+ armour. His gold price is 120,000, so for that he comes with the skills block, chainsaw, dodge, loner 4+, secret weapon, and stunty. Again, can only play for Badlands Brawls and Underworld's Challenge, and his special rule is kick him while they're down. Once per game, Nobler may use the chainsaw to attack special action against a prone or stunned opposition player. This does not count as a foul action, so Nobler cannot be sent off when using this ability.
Wow.
Nice and dirty.
For me, 120,000 gold for a blodge chainsaw that gets a free, inverted commas, foul action, once again, that cannot be sent off. For me, I think that's going to be the new Goblin star player. I think there's going to be people who will...
Oh no, he's not going to be the new one, but it opens up a new challenge. Goblins, and you've got to have a dirty player sneaky git. You've got to have the black gobble, so you get the extra foul turn, and then once per game, try and get off a Nobbler foul to maximise all your fouls. Can you imagine that challenge going on now?
That's going to be good going. I mean, you'd be pushing a lot to fit that in. I mean, the other option as well is chainsaws. Quad chainsaws on a Goblin team. Oh. If you can get to an event that allows you as many star players as you can afford, quad chainsaws. I know there won't be many events that'll let you get away with that, but quad chainsaws could be a thing. If I could get away with it, I'd do it.
Christmas chainsaw would be interesting. We'd all have wrapping paper face. We could have Nobbler. If you can afford it, there's Helmet as well, isn't it?
Typically, chainsaw only allows you 2 stars, which is where Goblins were the only one. But if you can find an event that will allow you to run as many stars as you can afford with your gold...
But that's 3 by there. We could find another way of getting the chainsaw on that pitch, man. Surely.
Well, looking at standard Goblin team, you could run Nobbler, Looney, Helmet Wolf. That's 3.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And then at
Chainsaw.
Christmas chainsaw, where we get the extra thing, that's your quad chainsaws.
Yeah.
All disappears after a turn.
Oh, it does.
But
what a turn you'll have if it all works.
Yeah. Though I will say, I've come round to you thinking when it comes to chainsaws, where I wrote them off, they are a big bag of fun. Enough about that chainsaw. We're talking about Nobbler, which I feel he is going to be... you're going to make a point of fitting him into a team. Like you said, I can see at least double chainsaw, triple chainsaws now. Could be fun. I would say, really, probably not got a place in a Black Oak team, really, because he's a little bit extra squishy, and for like 120 your troll would normally cost that one, and he's better as a guard or a stand firm piece, just to like piss people off. But I know 120 though, a snotling chainsaw, probably a bit pricey, but he's going to be a very fun model.
Goblin chainsaw, not snotling, he's not strength 1.
Oh, you know.
I know what you mean, but I think for me it's the fact that he's blodge as well.
Yeah, he's blodge.
Which I think in itself it's going to be more difficult for people to remove him, which is why I think 120k is very fairly priced.
I'll be honest with you. Like I'm saying, I don't see him with Black Oaks and all that. Compared to our favourite Pogo Scrapper, I see that this guy would have more of a place with Skaven and Underworld, because they're the ones that would need a little bit of a beefy hit, and that's who's going to benefit from it more. So perhaps he's like an extra utility for them. Ogres don't really need somebody who can hit hard, because you've got at least 5 of them on the pitch anyway. The only like you said, the only thing consistent with him, he's a blodger. But if somebody's quick in past your Ogres, if you've got no bribes, he's done. He's one turn and done.
Yeah.
Get as much out of him as possible. Everyone, anything else you would want to say about Nobbler?
For me, you mentioned the models. I love that this is the old style. The model harks back to like 2nd edition Blood Bowl of the vertical chainsaw with the arm slightly out, for maximum damage. It does. The model looks... It does. It looks good.
Yeah, it's like the triangle chain as well, just to make it look old, and yeah, it's great. See, like we going back to old Bryce the Slice, right? That is a model done piss poorly. Nobbler, that is a model done to perfection.
Yes.
That is everything you want a new model to be. That is a lot of detail, but it harkens back to like an original. So you can say, I see where it's been, and now this is where it's gone, and it's absolutely fantastic. Unless you're like Bryce, and then you go, he's half done, and then they decided to sneeze green stuff on the other side,
yep.
Which is a load of shit. I just see him as a fucking flammable square base. But hey, never mind.
Talking of square bases, I think at the end of this episode we should hear the square base Jurassic Park theme tune to play us out.
Oh fuck no. That is only for people who turn up at events that try and tell me how good square bases are.
In-person performances only, is it?
Yeah, you're acting like a fucking idiot when I'm fucking making the Jurassic Park noises at you.
With that in mind, I will introduce our last star player. I'll give you a chance to take some air in before the rant comes out, and it's on to the star player that every greenskin has been waiting for coming back since Blood Bowl 2020 dropped. It's Ripper Bolgrot, the Thinking Man's Troll. Now he's movement 4, strength 6, edge 5, passing 4, AV 10. He's grab, loner 4+, mighty blow +1, regen, throw teammate. Again, can play for Badlands Brawl or Underworld Challenge. It's almost like we planned these guys. And his special rule is the Thinking Man's Troll. Once per half, Ripper may re-roll 1 dice that was rolled either as a single dice or as part of a multiple dice roll or as part of a pool. This cannot be a dice that was rolled as part of an armour, injury or casualty roll.
Well, no, it's just a long-winded way of saying it's your action dice, really, isn't it?
You're talking...
I rolled 2 action dice. Oh, look, I got 2 pushes. I'm going to use my Thinking Man's Troll to roll one of them.
Yep.
Basically, his special rule is Brawler.
Well...
Just with a few extra steps.
Yeah, I mean...
That you can do it outside of both.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it for a dodge if you needed. You could do it for a rush if you needed. I mean, you could use it for throw teammate.
Could.
But like you say, it's a few extra steps.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. Like you said, we've all been waiting for him. I can wait a little longer, really. I feel like GW has kicked us in the dick with this one because he's close to being perfect, right? Grab, a phenomenal skill, really. It's it's underrated in my book because I think you have come around to the idea of grab being useful. You wouldn't put it on a first 2 or 3 skill, but if you're lucky enough to get like a 4th or a 5th, that's when you chuck it on.
I can see grab absolutely having places. Like you say, I've been on the receiving end of Black Orcs with it, and I know how out of position it can put people if you're not prepared for it.
Oh yeah, because that allowed a couple of goblins to drop kick you guys into the bloody crowd, didn't
Exactly.
it? Like you said, he's got no stupidity, but he's got no projectile vomit either, right? So he's shaved off a few simple actions. Talking about projectile vomit, how many times have you actually used that?
I think once.
I think I used it 3 times, and that was against a halfling. Or it could have been a snotling team because all I got to do is roll low. But it's not quite a shit rule, really. I think because average armor is about 8+. I don't think. Well, you're using my rolling, you're never going to get there. But I don't think I've seen anybody use it. The other one I've never seen anybody use is jump over a down player.
See, I've done that suicidally in leagues with dwarves, knowing they were going to fail, and that was pure. That wasn't to jump over a down player to move up the field. That was to jump over a down player, knowing my guy would go down, hoping he wouldn't remove himself from the field so that somebody couldn't go around that way and had to go the other way. Not necessarily the best use of it, but something different to do with it.
Yeah, no, I've just never seen people do it. So, I don't know. Perhaps we need a new edition where they can shave off a few of these fucking stupid rules that they try to bring in. But, going back to Ripper, I feel 250, that's a nice point range. Like they said, they've shaved off the really stupid, but he needed Mighty Blow Burst +2.
Yeah.
To me, Ripper has always been a goblin morgue.
Yes.
And I know a few people have seen him as a goblin morgue. If you wanted a hard hitter that was clearing people, you needed him, and he was absolutely phenomenal for it, right? But he is no better really than taking a troll, and it's cheaper to take a normal troll. And with the tournament scene as we got it at the moment, where use the whole thing of you can have tier 2 team, say 8 skills or whatever. There's no harm in put in grab, block, guard, anything on a normal troll, and he's just as effective.
Yep.
Or pro is another one you could use. He's got his own inbuilt reroll that can be used that way, but it's a cheaper way of running it, and I don't see much difference between him and a troll. What would have justified me taking him is a Mighty Blow +2.
Yep.
It's like I've waited so long.
You're underwhelmed.
Yeah. I've just wanted to be whelmed. I didn't want to be overwhelmed. I didn't want to be underwhelmed. I wanted to be whelmed, but I don't know, disappointed.
See, that's the worst insult when you're a kid from your parents. I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. That's the dick kicker. For me, even if they'd said, because I know some tournaments are doing this with Morg, Mighty Blow +2 only happens 1 turn, and then it's Mighty Blow +1 for the rest of the game, to try and curb the amount of damage that he does. I would have been happy if they'd have possibly done that with Ripper. I think for me, he might not necessarily be as strong as Morg. Once a game he can be.
Like a special rule might have been once a half you can have like Mighty Blow +2 or something like that. Possibly that could have been a way around it, right? And perhaps put him up to like 260 or something like that because it's used in both halves.
Yes.
Right? That could have been useful. disappointed, like I said. It feels like a shit reboot, to be honest.
It feels like you waited till Christmas, you opened your stocking, and you actually did get the lump of coal in the bottom in it. That's where it is.
No, it's worse than that. It's like you think you've got a brand new computer, you open it up and Santa's taking a massive diarrhea shit into it and possibly put a flag, ho 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 bitch, Merry Christmas. And then you see square bases floating in it. That's how it feels to me. It feels like he had so much potential, and GW done the bare minimum.
I couldn't really see him being taken on many Orc teams, if I'm honest. I think he's...
Well, no, his price is too high for that, I would say.
Yeah.
But if you, I could have seen him, perhaps if you shaved 1 or 2 ogres off, you could have been used there.
I think he'll be in Snotling's team. That's where he'll be. We're going to take a little break, and we are going to come back after the break.
So you were just going to leave me be fucking miserable and not share it with people. That's what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that we'll take a break and Jay will read all your comments about how everybody agrees with Ripper. And if you want to tell Jay that he's absolutely right about Ripper now being trash and to build your own quasi-Ripper from rulebooks, from event rule lists and so on, drop us an email or visit the Instagram or the Facebook page. What's the email, Jay?
tier3podcast@outlook.com.
God, it's almost like you got it memorised.
We've been pushing it long enough. We've also got a Twitter that you keep forgetting about.
I do keep forgetting about Twitter.
Mostly because I'm the only one that uses it. Yeah, just get in contact. We've spoke about Ripper. Let us know your opinions. Are we overselling the other ones? And who's the crazy fucker that actually likes Bryce the Slice model? These would be interesting questions answered.
Hello.
Right then, ladies and gents, I know this is unusual for us, but this was supposed to be an end of the show segment, but due to real life situations and in the middle of all this recording we had an event to go to, we were unable to record the outro. So you've only got me, your second favourite podcast host, to see you out at the end of the show. We want to give a big thanks to all our listeners that have stuck by us when we've had a very shaky schedule. We were going to try and stay on our monthly schedule going forward. Don't forget, we've now got a YouTube channel and Rumble that we're looking to do stuff with. We're also going to try and be more active on our socials. If you don't hear from us, please reach out. And don't forget, we have got a Discord channel as well that we want to try and grow for our community. Thank you once again to Firestorm for being our affiliate link. In the description below, there is going to be a link to the store, and that helps us out as well. Future shows we will talk about Coop and Drag as well, because we have set the date for that, but we will tell you more once we have got our rule sheets finalised. So thank you once again, and in the next episode we are going to be talking Welsh Open, and we're going to be talking about the Halfling Stars. So we will see you there. Thank you very much, one and all.
Hello, Blood Bowl Grud here. Are you looking for a new pair of boots for your Blood Bowl game? Well, why not try new Orchidas Tier 3s? Every size from Snotling to Ogre, and the guarantee is stamp, and the elf is gone. Oh, we all hate war dancers, don't we?